In this lesson, we'll take a look at artist graphite pencils, and I'll explain why you don't have to have every graphite pencil in order to be successful. Graphite is an allotrope of carbon. When pulverized and mixed with clay constituents, we get the graphite that we're all familiar with, that is usually encased within a wooden pencil. On artist graphite pencils, we have an alphanumeric scale that's used to measure the softness of the pencil. The softness of the graphite is designated by a combination of letters and numbers usually found on the shaft of the pencil. In this case, we can see that HB is found directly in the center of this alphanumeric scale. The H in this letter combination stands for hard, while the B in the letter combination stands for black. Therefore, B pencils are progressively darker according to the number that precedes the letter B, while H pencils are progressively lighter based on the number that precedes the letter H. Pencils used for writing use a different scale that you might be familiar with. A number 2 pencil is therefore equivalent to an HB pencil, while a number 1 is equivalent to a B and a number 3 is equivalent to an H pencil. An HB pencil is capable of producing medium dark tones while retaining a sharper tip, much longer than other B pencils. B pencils progressively get softer as we move down the scale towards non-B. Because these pencils are softer, more of the graphite material is released on the surface, meaning that these pencils are not only softer and dull much quicker, but they're also much darker. Therefore, a pencil designated with 2B graphite is darker than one designated with HB. A 5B pencil is also much darker than a 2B pencil. Graphite is inherently a shiny medium, and because more of the graphite is released on the surface, darker pencils also tend to shine more than harder pencils. On the left side of our scale, we have mostly H pencils. There is, however, an F pencil, which stands for fine. This pencil is capable of producing some darker tones, but retains a sharp tip for a long period of time. As I mentioned before, H pencils are designated as harder graphite, and because this graphite is much harder, the marks that are produced are also much lighter. Therefore, a 7H pencil is lighter and harder than a 3H pencil, whereas a 2H pencil is darker and softer than an 8H pencil. The entire range of graphite grades runs from 9H to 9B. It's important to note, however, that there is no industry standard for this particular scale. In other words, a 2B pencil produced by one manufacturer may be different from a 2B pencil produced from another manufacturer. Now, all of these pencils are clearly not required to create a drawing. In most circumstances, we'll be sticking with a range from 4H to 6B, and in many cases, that range is even narrower than this. This is because, even though we may be using a softer and darker pencil, like in this case a 4B pencil, we can still create a full range of value with this pencil alone. In other words, we can create darker tones and midtones and even lighter tones with just this one pencil. We can even produce a range of tone and value with a lighter pencil like a 4H, but clearly the darker tones are not quite as strong. But one thing you'll clearly notice here is the texture of the paper is more evident with the softer pencil. We can see more of the tooth of the paper playing a role. Because H pencils are much harder, producing a lighter mark, they are also capable of producing small grooves in the surface of the paper. So if you start your drawing out lightly with an H pencil and then go back with a softer pencil, like a B pencil, you may find that the lines produced by the H pencil are still visible, which in most cases is an undesirable effect. There are a few specialty graphite pencils available to the artist. In some cases, you want to produce darker marks like you would get from a softer pencil, but you want the pencil to retain a sharper tip for a longer period of time. My favorite pencil for this is the General's Layout pencil. You can see how close it is to the 4B pencil as far as tone and value, but you can also see that it picks up much less of the tooth of the paper. The pencils that you do choose to work with will depend largely on the surface that you're working on and the subject that you're drawing. For example, this drawing was created with an H, HB, and a 4B pencil. And so was this one. The same pencils were used, H, HB, and 4B. This one, however, used an HB, 2B, and a 6B pencil because some of the values needed to be really dark. This drawing only required 2 pencils, an HB pencil and a General's Layout pencil. And this one only required 3, an H pencil, an HB pencil, and a general's layout pencil. So you shouldn't feel like you have to have every graphite pencil that's available out there on the market. Instead, you just need a nice range of pencils to produce a range of values. And this may boil down to just having a 2H, an HB, a 2B, and maybe a 4B. It's going to be different for everyone depending on the amount of pressure that you place on the pencil. But just understand that you can produce a full range of value with a small number of pencils. If you enjoyed this video, then subscribe to the channel. And if you're ready to learn even more about drawing and painting, then check out our comprehensive membership program, which includes video courses, weekly live lessons, ebooks, lesson plans for teachers, and much, much more. Just click on the link to learn more. Thank you so much for watching.